May 24th. The World Series of Poker is underway. Thousands of players, millions on the line, and one man who didn't just play the game, he broke it. His name? Jonathan Tamayo. A skilled player, but this time he wasn't relying on instincts. He had something far more powerful, a loophole buried deep in the WSOP rulebook. A flaw so dangerous it gave him real-time data, an unbeatable advantage, and a way to outplay even the most elite professionals. Tamayo dominated the competition. Hand after hand, every decision and every move was perfect. And before anyone realized what was happening, it was over. He had won $10 million and the most prestigious title in poker. But here's the craziest part. Even after the truth came out, WSOP couldn't take the money back. They couldn't strip his title. They couldn't do anything. Was this a genius exploit or the most sophisticated poker heist in history? Because if this loophole isn't closed, poker as we know it may never be the same. Las Vegas, the heart of the poker world. Every summer, thousands of players gather here with one goal: win the World Series of Poker. But in 2024, one man arrived with more than just skill. He came with a plan. Jonathan Tamayo wasn't a nobody. Back in 2009, he finished 21st in the main event. A deep run, a six-figure cash. But in poker, no one remembers 21st place. That's not legacy. That's not history. For 15 years, he stayed under the radar, studying, waiting, and when the 2024 WSOP rulebook dropped, he saw something others missed: a gap, a loophole, one line missing from the fine print. This wasn't just another year. It was the biggest main event in history. Over 10,000 players, $10 million to the winner. Tamayo wasn't leaving it to chance. He wasn't going to outplay everyone. He was going to outthink the system. Here's how. Poker solvers are powerful tools, programs that break down hands using game theory and probability to recommend the best possible move. Fold, call, raise, every option calculated, every variable considered. It's like having a chess engine for poker. Online, they're strictly banned. In live games, they're illegal to use during play. But what if someone else used them, away from the table? That's where the 2024 WSOP made a critical mistake. For years, their rules clearly banned real-time solvers. But this time, the language was vague. There was no explicit ban on solver use by a player's rail, his team watching from the sidelines. Tamayo and his team saw the opening. He didn't need a solver in his pocket. He needed one on a laptop a few feet away. His coaches would run simulations, study outcomes, and feed him the optimal plays in real time, between hands. It wasn't technically illegal. It wasn't explicitly forbidden. And that was the entire strategy. May 28, 2024. The main event begins. Thousands of players take their seats. But for Tamayo, this isn't poker. It's execution. His plan is live. From the start, he plays with eerie precision. Every fold is perfect. Every bluff lands. His decisions are so precise, so efficient, that it feels robotic. While others second-guess and sweat, Tamayo moves with quiet confidence, like he already knows the outcome. And people notice, not just fans, not just commentators, pros. Deep in the field, seasoned players begin to wonder, how is he always right? How does he never miss? Because by now it's clear, Tamayo isn't just playing the game, he's playing something else entirely. Whispers begin to spread. Could he really be this good? Or was there something more to his game? At first, the suspicion is just that, suspicion. Players notice how often he steps away between hands, walking over to his rail. A few quick words, a glance at a laptop screen, and then back to his seat. Coaching between hands isn't new. Many players rely on their teams for strategic insight. But this feels different. Some can't ignore the details. His team always huddled around the laptop, their focus locked on the screen, their discussions brief but deliberate. Tamayo returning to his seat with a level of certainty that doesn't match the unpredictability of poker. Then, the moment that changes everything. A spectator snaps a photo, a single frame that sends shockwaves through the poker world. The laptop screen is visible, and what's displayed isn't a hand history or notes from past games. It's a poker solver, a real-time AI calculating the best possible moves for any given situation. At first, the image circulates quietly. A few poker forums, some heated discussions. But within hours, it explodes. The photo is everywhere. Twitter, Reddit, poker news sites. And the question is unavoidable. Did Jonathan Tamayo's team just get caught using a poker solver in real time? The poker world erupts. Coaches, analysts, and professional players all weigh in. Some say it's nothing, just a team supporting their player. Others say it's the most blatant example of cheating in modern poker history. But the more people analyze the footage, the harder it is to ignore. Tamayo's gameplay wasn't just strong, it's unnatural. His decision-making is perfect, almost robotic. He folds hands that even elite players would struggle to let go of. He calls bluffs with a level of certainty that seems impossible. And now, people are connecting the dots. The laptop, the solver, the constant trips to his rail, the hushed conversations before key hands. It all starts to make sense. Pressure starts mounting. Players demand answers. The World Series of Poker is forced to respond. An investigation is launched. But without hard proof, what can they really do? Tamayo hasn't broken any written rules, at least not yet. But the poker world isn't waiting for an official ruling. To many, the verdict is already clear. July 15th, 2024. The World Series of Poker main event has reached its final table. Millions of dollars are on the line. The tension in the room is suffocating. And at the center of it all, Jonathan Tamayo. He's come too far to stop now. One more session, a few more hands, and he'll complete one of the most dominant performances in WSOP history. But not everyone believes it's just skill that got him here. By this point, the controversy surrounding Tamayo has spread beyond poker circles. The laptop, the solver, the way he plays with an almost mechanical precision, the photos, the rumors, the whispers, they've all turned into something more, a full-scale investigation. But for now, the tournament isn't stopping, and neither is Tamayo. Hand after hand, he continues to make decisions that defy expectations. Then, the moment that will be analyzed frame by frame for months to come, he looks down at pocket queens, a monster hand in heads-up play. But instead of pushing forward, he folds. Just like that. And the audience, the commentators, even his opponent, everyone is stunned. Folding pocket queens in this situation isn't just rare, it's almost unheard of. But moments later, the solver image resurfaces, and it confirms what many already suspected. Mathematically, that fold was the right move, the perfect play. But how did Tamayo know? The first hand arrives. Tamayo moves all in. His opponent calls. The board runs out, and it's over. Jonathan Tamayo is the 2024 WSOP champion. $10 million. A career-defining moment. The kind of victory that cements a player's legacy. He jumps up, ecstatic. His team rushes toward him. But in the middle of the celebration, something happens. Something small, something almost invisible to the untrained eye. But for those looking closely, it changes everything. Tamayo embraces Joe McKeon, a long hug, 10 seconds, and in those 10 seconds, a small white object is passed between them. Barely noticeable, but there. The footage is grainy, but speculation explodes. Was it an earpiece? A device used to communicate with his team? Had Tamayo been receiving solver data during the game? Within hours, the clip is slowed down, zoomed in, dissected. Theories flood social media. Some claim it's definitive proof of cheating. Others argue it means nothing. But one thing is certain, this isn't going away. The dust hasn't even settled. Jonathan Tamayo should be celebrating the greatest moment of his career. Instead, he's at the center of a controversy that's only getting bigger. The poker world is in chaos. Every forum, every social media thread, every podcast is dissecting the same questions. Did Tamayo cheat? Did WSOP fail to stop it? And if they did, what does this mean for the future of poker? The World Series of Poker is forced to respond. Within 48 hours, they announce a formal investigation. They promise to review all available footage and analyze the evidence. But there's a problem. There's no clear rule that states what Tamayo's team did was illegal. That's the biggest issue. The 2024 WSOP rulebook never explicitly banned Rail members from using solvers. It didn't say they couldn't relay information. It didn't even define what was considered an unfair advantage outside the table area. The only real enforcement was a vague announcement over the speakers, quote, "We do ask you to please do not use any type of poker solvers at any point in time at the table or in the tournament area." But the tournament area? That's where the gray area begins. Tamayo wasn't using a solver. His rail was. And while it may have violated the spirit of the game, technically, the rulebook didn't stop it. If WSOP wanted to take action, they had a serious challenge ahead of them. Meanwhile, the poker community isn't waiting for an official ruling. The backlash is immediate. Top players speak out. Doug Polk, Daniel Negreanu, Alan Keating all demand stricter rules. Some call for Tamayo to be stripped of his title. Others say this is proof that live poker has an enforcement problem. And then there's the biggest issue of all. If WSOP can't prove he cheated, does that mean anyone can do this in the future? But as the poker world debates, Tamayo stays silent. He hasn't addressed the controversy. He hasn't responded to the accusations. And while WSOP struggles with how to handle the situation, one thing is certain. The $10 million prize money is still in his account. The poker world is divided. Casual players, online grinders, even former champions, they all believe this isn't just a controversy. It's a turning point. If solvers and real-time assistants are allowed, poker could shift from a game of instincts to a game of technology. Top professionals demand action, calling for stricter rules to protect the integrity of live tournaments. But not everyone agrees. Some defend Tamayo, arguing that he followed the rules as they were written. If WSOP didn't explicitly ban it, then it's on them, one poker analyst states. Others argue that rail assistance has always existed. Players have received advice from their teams for years. This is just the next step in strategy. Then there's Dominic Nietzsche, one of Tamayo's rail members and a well-respected pro in his own right. Instead of calming the situation, he escalates it. He takes to Twitter, mocking those who were upset. The best part of having a piece of the WSOP main event winner is watching people cry about a laptop. The tweet goes viral, and not in a good way. Meanwhile, WSOP remains silent. Weeks pass. The investigation remains behind closed doors. No official statements, no rulings, and no sign that the WSOP will strip Jonathan Tamayo of his title. Despite the backlash, despite the photos, despite the endless debates, nothing changes. The $10 million remains his. The bracelet stays in his hands. And as far as the official records are concerned, Jonathan Tamayo is the 2024 WSOP main event champion. But one question remains. If solvers and real-time assistants aren't properly banned, what stops another team from doing the same thing? What stops every final table from becoming a contest of technology rather than skill? WSOP now faces a choice. Do they rewrite the rules tighten regulations and ensure this never happens again? Or do they risk turning the world's biggest poker event into a battleground of AI-driven strategy?